Hi everyone, this is Priya Vashne and I welcome you all to the new session. So, in this session, we are going to start with Machiavelli, who is one of the famous thinker in the Western political thought. He's again one of the most important thinker as far as PSIR optional examination is concerned. So, this video is going to be an introductory one in which we will try to understand that who Machiavelli was, from where does he belong to, and some of we will also understand about his famous work, etc. Right? So, from the next video onwards, we will try to get into little bit deeper into the thoughts of Machiavelli. Okay? Okay. So uh, first of all, let me tell you that Machiavelli is basically considered as the father of political realism. So I'll tell you why he is being considered as the father of political realism. See, we had read Socrates, we had read Aristotle, we had read Plato, right? So, what was actually common between them was, see, Plato was someone who was actually saying that we should uh, uh, he was actually focusing on what ought to be done rather than what is, right. That's why he had actually ignored this world, by the real world, by calling it as the world of illusions, right. When we saw Aristotle, we see that Aristotle had actually did some corrections in the thoughts of his master. According to Aristotle, it will be foolish to leave this world by calling it just the world of illusions, right? So we had seen that okay, Aristotle was little bit pragmatic, right? So we had also seen that what is meant by pragmatism. So he was a combination, Aristotle's thoughts were the combination of the idealism and the realism, right. So when we talk about Machiavelli is someone who is known as the father of political realism, right. So from Machiavelli onwards, we will actually get deeper into the real theories of politics, right. Because politics is far more than the philosophy, right. So in the Machiavelli, we will understand that basically the most prominent work of Machiavelli is his book The Prince, right. So one thing which you can even understand from this name, The Prince, right. So this book contains something, or you can say this book is written for a person, right. Or you can say for a person who wants to be the prince, who wants to be the king, right. So the prince is you can say, it is being regarded as one of the best book ever written in the field of statecraft. So I'll explain you what this statecraft word means. But what I actually want to tell you from this slide is that his famous work, The Prince, is the work which we will actually explore in our further videos, right. So basically what Machiavelli did was, Machiavelli said that okay, in order to be a prince, you should do this, you should do that, etc. So he has actually given some guidelines, some instructions to the person who is actually willing to be the king, right. So let me first introduce you with this word statecraft, then we will get a little deeper into his work The Prince, right. Okay. So as you can see, the word statecraft is made up of two words. Number one is the state, number two is the craft, right. So if I had to define this word, then what I'll say is that this actually means, or you can say this actually implies that how to run the state. What? How to run the state. Is it clear? So as I said, that Machiavelli is being regarded as the father of political realism, right? Right. So what happens is basically Machiavelli gives the power view of the politics. Power view of the politics. When I'm saying that he gives the power view of the politics, he actually makes us to understand about the management of power. About the management of power. Because when a person becomes a king or a queen, right? When a person becomes a king or a queen, what ultimately this person has? This person actually has the powers, right? Which he or she can use in or has to use for the public. Is it clear? So, what happens is that a person who is in the power, what will ensure that this person would remain in power, right? So this will depend upon his or her management of power, right? So basically, even the statecraft is what? Statecraft actually deals with this management of power. So when I say that statecraft implies some that how to run the state, it actually means is that what actually so what do you require to run the state? You actually require the power, right, to run the state. But only having the power is not sufficient. You should know how to manage the power. So what Machiavelli has done is in his work The Prince, he has actually given some guidelines, or you can say he has given some instructions. He has given the instructions for any enterprising person who wants to come to power and consolidate his power, right? So one thing which you should note here is this word any. So when we had discussed about Aristotle and Plato, then we had seen that both of them believed in the concept of natural inequality, right? Both of them believed in this concept. So according to Plato, there were some, he actually categorized persons into three categories: man of gold, man of silver, and man of copper. As per, so the main criteria for this categorization was the presence of the core elements, dominance of the core elements. So there were three core elements, right? That is your reasons, courage, and appetite. So the man of gold was the person who had the reasons dominating in him. Similarly, what Aristotle did was Aristotle talked about slave by nature and master by nature, right? Slave by nature and master by nature. So he, according to Aristotle, these masters should be the rulers, while as per the Plato, these man of gold should be the rulers, right? But in Machiavelli, you will not see such a discrimination, right? Machiavelli is giving the set of instructions who anyone can follow, whoever willing to come to power. Is it clear? Okay, so this is something which I wanted to highlight to you, that this is a kind of, you can say, a point of difference between the thoughts of Plato, Aristotle, and Machiavelli. Right? Whereas both Plato and Aristotle believed in the concept of natural inequality, but uh, Machiavelli does not believe in such concept. Is it clear? Okay, so. Um so a little bit more about Machiavelli. So basically, Machiavelli belonged to a region which is presently known as Italy, right? Which is presently known as Italy. He actually belonged to the time when medieval age was coming to an end, and when modern age was about to begin. So what you can see is that he belonged to this transitioning period, right? So he was, and this period was actually in the European history, this period is basically known as the age of renaissance, right? So just to tell you that Machiavelli is also famously called as the child of renaissance, the child of renaissance. So basically, there is one famous statement which you should know, right, when you are studying political science. See, we had also discussed this statement in our previous videos that every thinker is the child of his times, right? So when we were studying Plato and Aristotle, we had seen that how the situations which these thinkers were facing had molded the ideas, right? Had molded the thoughts which they are actually presenting in the form of theories, etc. So similar had happened with Machiavelli. But what is more special in Machiavelli is that it is being said that this statement or this description suits Machiavelli the most. So in our next video, we will actually analyze this statement that why why this description suits Machiavelli the most and why Machiavelli is known as the child of Renaissance. Okay, so until then, take care. Bye bye. Thanks a lot for your time. And if you like this video, then please share and subscribe with your friends. So from the next video onwards, actually, we will cover we will start covering or get into the depths of Machiavelli. Okay, Machiavelli's thoughts. Okay, then. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.